Good morning, everyone. The hour of 10 o'clock having arrived, I will convene this hearing of the Science, Space, and Technology Subcommittee on Investigations and Oversight. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of the committee at any time. Hearing none, so ordered. I will begin by recognizing myself for 5 minutes for an opening statement. I'd like to thank all of our witnesses and our committee members and Ranking Member Fushi for participating in our hearing today. I'd like to begin by requesting unanimous consent that the subcommittee's investigative portfolio be submitted for the record. Hearing none, so ordered. Today's hearing will focus on a proposed regulation by the Federal Acquisition Regulatory Council that would require federal contractors to disclose greenhouse gas emissions and set reduction targets. The rule would further require that a London-based company validate those targets. To be clear, today's hearing is not about climate change or whether or not companies should reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, many companies have voluntarily chosen to reduce emissions and are verifying those reductions in a variety of ways already. Instead, today's hearing concerns government overreach and questionable processes that result in the administration picking winners and losers in the marketplace. Regardless of a political affiliation, every member of this institution should be concerned by regulatory policies that usurp Congress's legislative authority. And every member of Congress should be concerned with any regulatory action that arbitrarily selects one company to do business with the federal government without a meritorious selection process. The government should not be in the business of picking winners and losers when it comes to federal contracting. However, unfortunately, that is exactly the case in this instance. This administration published a proposed rule in November which decreed that all major federal contractors will be required to set greenhouse gas emission reduction targets and then hire a specified private foreign company to validate those targets. The company anointed by the administration to perform this task is called the Science-Based Target Initiative, or SBTI. According to the information that this committee has gathered, SBTI did not go through a competitive selection process before being chosen for this role. Documents provided by the OMB indicate that representatives from SBTI met with the Council on Environmental Quality to discuss this proposed regulation only twice. There was no other email traffic, no formal vetting or application. It appears SBTI did not even have to submit a single piece of paper explaining why they were the company best suited for this job. The choice of SBTI is not only concerning this committee and the proposed rule, but because of the rule's poor drafting, it raises multiple practical, financial, and national security issues. For instance, ceding the authority to approve the emissions targets of federal contractors to a foreign entity means that we have no way to verify that SBTI's processes are based in sound science. In fact, both Congress and the federal government have very little oversight of the decisions being made here. In addition, companies specializing in oil and gas production may not even have the ability to submit proposals that meet SBTI's science-based targets, which could have a severe impact on our nation's mission readiness in industries such as space and national defense. Our hope is that this hearing will surface these issues and help our members consider these concerns as we move forward. The Investigations and Oversight Subcommittee has investigated this issue since February of this year. It reviewed many documents, sent multiple letters, and met with numerous individuals, including representatives from government agencies and stakeholders, in order to get to this point. The Council has invited Chair Mallory of CEQ and the head of the FAR Council to join us today to answer our remaining questions regarding how this proposed rule came into being, questions only they can answer. Unfortunately, they have declined to be here this morning. Therefore, the witnesses at this hearing are experts who are here to help Congress understand the legal, practical, financial, and national security concerns associated with this proposed regulation. It's my hope that your testimonies today will cover 4 main issue areas. First, the constitutionality of this proposed regulation. Second, the practical impacts that the proposed regulation would have, specifically as it pertains to industry and national security. Third, the issues regarding the delegation of a quasi-government regulatory authority to SBTI and the conflict of interest concerns inherent in having a single entity act as both standard setter and validator. Fourth, and finally, the impossibility of either the executive or the legislative branches to conduct meaningful oversight of SBTI, a foreign entity which answers to neither. I look forward to a robust discussion on these topics. I'd like to thank everyone for your willingness to be here and to have a dialogue on this important topic.